What's going on, baby? All right. You know it's a pleasure and a joy and an honor and a privilege for me to come into your home and share with you another recipe, green juice, alkalization, detoxification, and what's the magic word, baby? Regeneration. Fresh air, baby. I was out in the woods today and I was just loving it. My brain was just telling me oxygen is the key to this whole thing. More oxygen, more natural environments. You know, the food is like the fuel and the water that moves you through the environment of sunshine, fresh water, oxygen, and just unnameable forces in the universe. So I was surrounding myself today in the woods and I had the greatest time ever. I'm going to have a really cool little video because I was doing some cool stuff out there today. So anyways, today I've got celery, cilantro, cucumber, coconut. It's a variation on something that it's like, dude, don't you ever do anything new? I just don't need to go out and do this crazy wild stuff because I've already done all that and it didn't do diddly squat, and now I'm just staying hydrated and alkalized with simple meals, and I can live my life flexible and filled with life, and I don't have to eat all these super things, and I don't have to have all these worries about all these nutrients and all this stuff, because none of that ever made any difference to me whatsoever. And in fact, it clogged me up and it inflamed my tissues, and I was overstimulated all the time from all the superfoods and stuff like that, so-called superfoods, that I just didn't feel that good. So now I just eat light, and I'm really working on just spreading out the meals. And I'll tell you, this is the key. This is what's been coming into my mind for the last several days, that it is the space between meals that makes us healthy. It's the spaciousness of life. The more space we can have in our lives, in all areas of our lives, more space, more spaciousness. That, I believe, is where we will find that the health is already inside of us. We're just cramming so many things into a human experience because we feel obligated out of guilt, and we're trying to be everything to everyone, and you just can't do that. So as soon as you start relaxing and just being like, okay, you know, I don't owe anybody anything. You know, I don't have to be all these things that I've been told I'm supposed to be. And you can just have spaciousness in your life. Space, simplify your life. For me, that is the number one thing that I've done, is to just look through all the media hype and go, you know, do I really need a new big screen? I mean, I have to work for another 6 months to pay that off. It's like, I'll just stare at this little 18-inch piece of crap TV if I want to watch, you know, the Rockford Files or whatever. You know, I don't even watch TV anymore because I'm not even attracted to any of that crap. Anyways, let me make a juice and we'll talk about how good everything is. Even though everything's not always perfect, it's still time to be thankful. Amen? Amen. I love the smell of cilantro, and I got my idea for what we'll talk about today. A couple coconuts for this one. Sometimes I use one coconut, sometimes I want it a little sweeter and I'll add two, you know? And I'm really thirsty because I just did a 5-mile hike in the woods and it was awesome, dude. I am just oxygen, oxygen, oxygen. It's like... So now this reminded me of, someone asked me a question. It was like, a lot of people think, well, what about the fiber? And isn't smoothies better than the juice? Or what's the difference? And the difference is this. Smoothies are awesome. Fiber is vital. But you gotta see, the approach that I take is generally a more healing approach. as a person who looks at raw foods as a healing modality, and a lifestyle, of course. But there's so many people need it as a healing effect that what we want to do is when we make the juice, see, because when you eat food, it's the juice anyways through the infusion of the water that absorbs through the villi in the intestinal tract. So everything you do eat anyways, it only the juice of it absorbs. All the cellulose and the plant fibers go straight on through. They become the doof. So when we're working, say, clinically with someone and we want them to get well, like where they have a tumor or whatever the issue is, this right here is pure amino acids, living water, and alkaline minerals. Okay? And so when we're healing, it's not the nutrition. We got to remember this sometimes. It's important to know, and it can be illuminating for some people here, is that it's not the nutrition that heals the body. Okay? It's the energy. Energy heals the body. So we want to do everything we can to to not waste any energy systemically, and one of those ways is to take out fiber at times. Fruit fiber is much easier and more gentle on the GI tract. Sometimes the plant cellulose is a little tougher and takes more systemic energy to move through the GI tract. So when we want amino acids and we want alkalinity, the juicing helps us to do that in a concentrated way. That way, there's no energy used in moving the fiber through the GI tract. So basically, juicing really is a way to conserve energy and get the, it's a way to conserve systemic energy and to bring in the external energy. Remember, we create our lives by what we eat, by what we drink, by what we breathe, and what we put on our skin. So by bringing this stuff, the outside stuff in, we can feed the cells, alkalize the tissues without spending a lot of systemic energy processing fiber. So don't get me wrong, you need some fiber, but that's why juice feasting, juice fasting, fruit diets, you'll notice that after eating a big fruit meal, you're like, oh, okay, you're pretty energized. Eat a big salad meal sometime and watch what happens. You'll be like on the couch going chill. It's not as much as like Thanksgiving or like a big pizza. You know, a pizza's going to knock you out for 3 or 4 or 5 hours. You're not going to want to go jogging after you eat like a medium pizza. But if you eat a whole salad, you know, it's going to be an hour or two before you feel like to get up to go mow the lawn. Now, this is all just generalizations. When you eat fruit, it's like, oh, 15 minutes. You sit there and meditate for 15 minutes after you eat a pound and a half of cherries, and then you're up and about, you know, because it's like, you know, so smoothies are important. Smoothies are good. Fiber is awesome. And it's really great to break down that fiber and make it even easier to process in the GI tract. But I'm always working on the healing modality, maximizing potential in certain areas. I know that I only had a few minutes, so I didn't get to explain it that well. But then again, I'm just not that erudite, and it's really not that. I could go into it if I wanted, but we don't need to make things complicated. When we juice, we get concentrated amino acids in living water. Is that simple enough? When we do smoothies, we get all those things as well, but then we get the plant fiber, which keeps the GI tract functioning properly. And so that I was just a little discourse on the difference between smoothies and juices. That's why, being an energy fanatic and energy addict, I do the juices a lot. Okay, would you do me a favor if you like this video, and please subscribe. Also, friend me on Facebook. I'd really appreciate that. I do a daily motivational quote. It's my honor and privilege to serve you. Thank you much.